Everything you know about Star Wars is wrong. In this episode, Anakin was not born from Darth Plagueis and Palpatine. Choco, why? Why do people think this way?
The Palpatine one most recently was from the 2017 run of Darth Vader. In the final issue, we have Vader entering the castle. That moment, there's a lot of stuff going on. Anyways, I was like, I don't even know how deep we need to get into this, but he ends up seeing bits from his past that are all tainted. They're all twisted. They're all like a dark side version of itself. And so one of the things that he sees is his mom pregnant, with Palpatine standing behind him with his arms over it as if he's manipulating it. And people took that one panel and used it to say, this is definitive proof that Palpatine created Anakin. And it's nonsense. Nothing that happened in that dream state actually happened in real life. Vader did not fight the entire Jedi Council by himself and fight Palpatine and all this. Like, there's all this crazy stuff that happens, and it's so weird that people focus on this one part of one page to like, see, that really happened. Nothing else in this entire book happened except this one thing. It's, I don't know, it's a really bizarre thing. But even the author and Matt Martin from the story group came out to specifically say, no, that is not what happened. If that were the interpretation we were going for, we wouldn't have made this comic. And yeah, they're very, very clear on that.
Yeah, it's also part of a larger problem that the author of the Crimson Corsairs actually came out with on Twix or Twitter, where a lot of people make content off of things that they don't read and often don't say where it's from. And I feel like a lot of the content came out from, like, they just put out a YouTube video that said Palpatine created Anakin, and they just have an image of this one panel with no context or no insight surrounding that particular panel. And it happens with a lot of Star Wars creators that make videos from stories and are not talking about the whole story or the book that it's from.
Kind of sad. The Crimson Corsair writer says he can't write more books because not enough people bought them. People love the story, but only because they've seen it in YouTube videos that don't link back to his book.
That's sad. And then the other part of this misconception is Darth Plagueis. A lot of people have made the declaration that Anakin was born as a response to Darth Plagueis' experiments. But that's just not the case. It's also Legends, so it doesn't really have an effect on canon. What happens in the book is, during the course of their experiments, Plagueis and Palpatine, Plagueis tries to take things a step further in the effort of tipping the scales to the dark side, which is why I latched onto that line in The Acolyte. He says he would, he doesn't say, but he implies that he wants to create a being of his own will, of his own design. And so he concentrates on the Force and does his magic or whatever, does his thing. And the Force pushes back. However that kind of manifests is kind of beyond what's written in the book, but it pushes back. And, you know, years later, they come back, they're talking about Palpatine, or no, Dooku is Dooku, right? Dooku is telling Plagueis that he met Anakin, or that Qui-Gon had brought back a virgins in the Force. And then Plagueis finds out, and he's like, I would like to meet this kid. Obviously, they don't have the chance to, but at some point, I think it was Palpatine that is kind of ruminating to himself. He's like, born from the Force. Could it be? And that's it. So
yeah, to say that that he was created by Plagueis or Palpatine through the Force is inaccurate. It's something that he briefly ponders for 1 second after meeting much later. That's not anything that's stated anywhere. And one of my favorite books that is not canon.